I never realized this song is actually a remix of the Velvet music from the beginning of the game. Man, how many years have I played this game and just now I've noticed this? You learn something new every day. Greetings all, it's Blue Knight. Welcome back to Ratchet and Clank. Previously, we finished up on Planet Home and got the Hydro Pack as well as taking down the Planet Buster Maximus, saving that planet in the process. Today, we're gonna head to the Jawai Resort sewers in Pokitaru, as well as take care of a few other side matters here on Pokitaru. First things first, like I promised last time, we're gonna see the Visibomb in action, and it involves taking out these Blark saucers from the ground. So of course you press circle to fire off a Visibomb gun, but unlike the Devastator, you can actually control this, and then press circle again to detonate. Keep in mind that you will have a limited range for the Visibomb gun to be utilized, like so. If it fizzes out like that, then you're going out of range. It is possible to steer it back into range to salvage it, but it's kind of tough to do because you can see the turning speed is kind of slow. This thing, I really like. In fact, anything that's not the Rhino, which I will show off at a later time, this is my favorite weapon in the entire game, much more than the Devastator. You may not think it, you may not think it now, but this thing is really useful. And on the next planet that we'll be heading to our adventure, which is going to be the Gemlik base, after we take care of all the side bits and stuff, you will see the huge amount of power this thing has. But you think that these saucers are weak compared to the Visibomb gun? You haven't seen anything yet when it comes against normal enemies. Trust me on that. So now we're taking care of that skill point. I keep forgetting to make that sign. I keep getting interrupted. Jeez. I always forget to make that sign. My goodness. So anyways, before I was really interrupted, we're heading into the sewers to take care of some more business where we can use that raritanium. Now, I could have got here way earlier, i.e. as in completing, after completing the main quest in this level. But I wanted to save it till a later time so we can get the Hydro Pack because, one, it was on the level after Pokitaru, so it wasn't going to take that much time to acquire. And two, it just speeds things up a lot. Also, you could try to chance this without getting the O2 mask at first, but I don't like doing that because, from what I remember, the swimming segments in this level can be kind of long. So I always come in here with the O2 mask first before even thinking about entering the sewers. So we fly down here. And actually, come to think of it, I'm gonna need to use the Trespasser quite a bit in this segment as well. As well as our Hydro Displacer. So time for more Trespasser puzzles, because those are always fun, right? Actually not. This is coming from a veteran of the game. That one wasn't too hard, but I'm pretty sure later ones are going to be quite a nuisance to go through. And I think I have to raise the water level on this again. Okay, now that we're back, we can head up here, which I think will be more amoeboids. Yep, quite a bit actually. Wow. So the best weapon of choice for this is going to be our Parositor. Flame all these guys out. Of course, they multiply, so it's going to get kind of crowded for a bit, but if you use this circling strategy like I'm doing right now, then you're practically untouchable against this amoeboid group. Of course, a lot of bullets as a result. It's kind of a shame that you don't get bullets for every time you shrink the amoeboid size down, but I think that the developers kind of considered that at one point, but they quickly resented that idea because you might get a bit more than the amoeboids are worth. At least that's what I think. Now, something I neglected to point out before about the Hydro Pack is the owner we got it from, Edwina. I'm pretty sure it's never mentioned in the game, but she's also related to Al and Bob, which is something I didn't think of for the longest time. Because she doesn't look or sound anything like the other two. And unfortunately, if you're fans of Bob or Edwina, they don't appear in future games, at least not in major roles like they do in this one. Only Al makes the cut, and quite a few other characters come to think of it as well. But that's gonna be saved until a later time, because I don't want to spoil things, despite this series is like, what, over a decade old at this point? Oh, finally, I got through that. That's always been one of the tougher puzzles to me, but there's a lot of factors you have to consider when going through a trespasser puzzle, like how many lasers there are, how many ports there are you have to, I guess, fill in, as well as the placement of each laser in each ring. That's quite a lot to consider. It's a lot more depth to those trespasser puzzles than you think. Hence why they're kind of difficult to figure out, even for veterans like me. So we can blow up all these explosive crates by just touching them. And you can see how fast you can see how fast we're moving with our hydro displacer. We're practically like Sonic underwater with this thing. And of course, combined with the O2 mask, we don't have to worry about air anymore, which means that swimming is a very minor problem for us, which I really love now. Granted, we didn't have to do much swimming to begin with before acquiring either of these items, but it's just nice to have, and that's what let's probably have to worry about when it comes to gameplay of Ratchet and Clank now. I think we're also near the end of this little tour of the sewers. Let's get this crate, and we'll, of course, collect our spoils as a result. And then ascend, where we meet more Amiiboids. Okay, we're not close to the end yet. I kind of figured as much. Always nice to doubt yourself in case if you think you are wrong. 'Cause you never know what you'll be made a fool of. Got quite a few close calls here with those Amiiboids. Thankfully I managed to get out there unscathed, and in full health too. It's probably after this trespasser door that will be at the end. Hopefully it won't take me as long as the last one did, though I highly doubt it. Let's see what our puzzle looks like. This looks kind of complicated, not gonna lie. Okay, not as long actually. Now it's relatively short. And there's our, I guess, friend. He looks kind of familiar actually. It might be the scientist we saved from Nebula G34 long ago, but I don't think they're the same guy. They might look the same, but I'm pretty sure it's not the same person.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm searching for a very elusive and secret substance.
Raritanium?
Maybe?
The oceans on this planet are said to be an excellent source of that element.
Well, not anymore. All that toxic dumping has obscured any trace of it. You will find Raritanium for me.
No, I will not.
Piece of junk. My latest invention, the Persuader. I intended to use it to control minds, but, well, the only thing it's got me so far is a discount from Gadgetron vendors.
Hey, I could use that.
Well, I'll trade it for some Raritanium.
I believe planet Hoven is a source of that element.
Perfect! This is precisely what I need. You will bring me more Raritanium.
You can't be serious.
Well, I tried.
We now have the Persuader. It's an illegal black market device that tricks Gadgetron vendors into giving big discounts on all items. We at Gadgetron trust you not to take advantage of unsupported product. Well, too little too late, Gadgetron. I already have that, you can't make me stop using it. Or something like that. I think I butchered that sentence really horribly. But you get what I mean. We'll now have access to all discounts in Gadgetron in the future, so let's approach a vendor first before we continue on with our little side business.
I got some great
So
bargains for you
this doesn't
there.
apply to ammo, as you can see, but to weapons
Oh,
it
that's a
does.
nice one.
It cuts it down by quite a bit, but some of the weapons, even with the discount that you'll find later on in the game, can still be quite
Oh, that's a nice
expensive.
one.
Not in the case of the drone device and the decoy glove, but some weapons that I remember do cost a bit
That's a
even
real
with
beauty.
this Persuader on hand now. But like I said, we're not done on Pokitaru quite yet. There's actually one more thing that I want to get for each device. Also, I just realized that Clank is not in Thruster Pack mode. That's better. I guess I'll just try to fiddle around for end slate stuff in the last episode, which I really didn't need at the moment. So I guess that's why I didn't realize that Clank was in Helipack mode. Which, if you really think about it, the Thruster Pack is a lot more useful than the Helipack now. There's really no reason to go back to Helipack mode unless you feel like it. Because I think the Thruster Pack, because it has rocket propulsions, it makes the jumps on all the Helipack features go a bit faster, and I think you get a bit more height as well from the glide jump. And also you get a lot less of a load-up time, I guess, when you're doing the boost jump, like I demonstrated a few parts ago, when I got really surprised at how instantaneous the boost jump from the thruster pack can be. So what I'm doing now is trying to get a lot of the explosive crates underwater. I highly recommend getting the O2 mask and the hydro pack for this one, because this takes quite a bit, and the amount of explosive crates they are pretty spread out throughout this sea, I guess. There's also this cave you want to keep in mind for a bit later after you're done getting all the explosive crates. Okay, there's my skill point, that's what I was looking for. It's also best to leave all the bolts like breadcrumbs so you know which places you've hit and which ones you haven't yet. That's why I neglected getting all the bolts before getting that skill point. So once again, the bolts kind of acting like breadcrumbs in a sense, even if it's unintentional, which is a very handy thing that the developers do. But in this case we did it ourselves, but it's still very useful. I'm just gonna scour around the sea a bit and try to collect all the bolts that I can find before we can head back to that cave that I passed by just a few moments ago. Alright, I think I got everything I need. So if you need better a better idea of where this cave is, try searching near this area where this hovercraft is. Right near this island as well if you need a better idea of where this cave is. It's a lot closer than you think. It always throws me off of where it is because I always think it's going to be very far from where it usually is, but I always get fooled by that little perception, I guess. But again, that's from my experience. You might always have an easy time to find that cave if you have played this game before. As a good thing I did switch out to a thruster pack as well because we're going to need to use this power slam ability, which I'll admit becomes a lot less useful over time. I think there's like one more instance I can think of that we use this power slam feature. I could be wrong, but it doesn't get much mileage after you get the thruster pack upgrade. Come to think of it, I have no idea how it does against enemies themselves. I'm gonna try that right now. Yeah, it's kind of risky. I did take a hit as well, but those pufferfish are still alive. So that's why I never use the power slam feature against enemies, because I always think it's really weak. Hence why it doesn't get much mileage out of this game, at least in my opinion. So let's get all these bolts first. There's a lot more cyclopuses that we haven't seen. Also need to switch out again. Actually, I don't need either the hydro displacer or that trespasser. All I need is a swing shot to ascend to where we can find our next big prize. Okay, that didn't work out so well. I'll use the Devastator then. Pretty unfortunate I have to use to get something small like the pufferfish, despite them being pretty tough for their size. But you gotta make do with what you got. Given in the current situation, of course. Okay, now it's safe. I can fly on through. A lot more pufferfish as well. So I'm gonna use this boggle to blow up this iron crate first. then quickly switch out to my second favorite weapon in the game. Wow, that rocket went such a huge roundabout way of getting that pufferfish, but it still got to it in the end. Bet I can use this bomb glove as well. Yeah, I can. Good. Go up here. I'll take you on my hand. I once again tried using the bomb glove with the boost jump, which the game doesn't allow for some reason. So that's really sad to not have. It's just later games that made me confused about not having that feature. Take you out. I was trying to get near that explosive crate as well, but it didn't work. I guess it was just a bit too large for it. I'll go for a little terror from above action. Wiping all you out. I can't go first person, it's a lot more accurate that way. Got them all, good. No idea I was able to make that work. I was gliding and yet Ratchet was able to throw a bomb. I guess I let it off the frame before it, that's all I can think of. What am I doing? I should use a Walloper in this situation. It's really close against the pufferfish here. Then I can use a Devastator to wipe out the Cyclops first, and then all of you afterwards. No idea how pufferfish as a delicacy would taste either. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't taste any different from the sand sharks, but then again, blowfish are kind of deadly from what I've read up. So, it's probably not a good idea to have pufferfish as a delicacy. Okay, so we can see the gold boat is nearby. I actually should have kept those iron crates around because it would have been pretty useful to boost jump to. Yeah, I probably should have. That's just a bad idea. Oh wait, there's a Versa target up there. That's why. I always forget about this one Versa target because otherwise I think I'm always screwed with going to this gold bolt. But it doesn't matter. We got it. That's all that matters. That's all that really matters in the end. I know Ratchet's really tired at the moment, but it's gonna be worth the wait, or worth the collecting. And I believe that's all we could do on Hoven. Not Hoven, on Pokitaru. I still have Hoven on the mind for some reason. Even though we have no reason to go back to that planet now. But I will say that we're not gonna do going to the Gemlik moon base next. As a matter of fact, for the next little bit, we're gonna do quite a bit of backtracking. By the way, there's a sandmouse house here if you want some help. I always forget about that guy, to be honest, so I never really use him. But like I said before, I was interrupted by that sandmouse house. There's quite a bit of backtracking we'll have to go through before we head to the Gemlik base. So, you're gonna have to bear with me for a bit before we progress on more story stuff. Especially considering the next level sounds like it's gonna be an integral part of our story. So that being said, next time on Ratchet and Clank, we're gonna head to planet Orxon because there's one little thing that I want to do before we continue on our backtracking trek throughout the Solana Galaxy. Also, I just died, so that's a very good way to end the episode. Also, I ended up here. How the heck did that happen? This game's just getting weirder and weirder by the videos, I swear. In any case, until we meet again, everyone, farewell for now. Geronimo!